Welcome back to Angry Badger Minis. Still working on the Black Templar. We're actually working on the assault squads right now, and they are or have been a little bit of a challenge. Not putting them together per se, but trying to deck them out in Black Templar fashion. So that they're not overwhelming, but at the same time they've got that Black Templar feel. So that's been the challenge, if you will. We're still, batch building, if you will. And what I've just done is I've finished putting on little pouches on the back. And while they may not necessarily stick out per se, like this, on this sergeant or whatever, the goal is to try to bulk these guys up a little bit, because when you look at the pack and then you look at the legs, it's almost like after you've looked at the other guys with all their robes, and I mean we've got them all done, these guys look really skinny. It's almost like a Dawn of War 3 feel. It just doesn't feel right. But we're trying to bulk them up a little bit, get some of this other stuff on there, and so what I'm working on right now is putting crack grenades on, and crack grenades, and the melt-a-bomb. Well, we only have 3 of those, but just like I said, just beefing up the hips a little bit here, and then we'll go ahead and start putting arms and things like that on. Also, having put this other stuff on the first squad, which I really wanted to do, I still have to go back and do things like this on the first squad. I did the sergeant completely, at least for now, unless I come up with some other idea, and that's usually what takes the longest for me, is coming up with a scheme for that. Once I have it, then it's just it's essentially just right to we'll call it the factory line, if you will. For some reason now all of a sudden we want to play games, and I don't mean in a good way, but all these little details, the reason that I'm also adding them is, the bulk of this model is going to be black, okay, and I'm going to need these details, especially when I go and paint them, to help break up that black outline, if you will, or at least bring some kind of difference or contrast in color. And do I have an idea of what color I want these grenades to be? Sort of. I'm thinking somewhere along the lines of potentially either a gunmetal gray, gunmetal silver or something like that, or even a red. I'm just not a big fan of the red. I think, especially since I'm going to have the melt-a-bomb, 3 melt-a-bombs per squad, not that you need, to have that many. I want to find something else, a different color that kind of, really just breaks it up. And I mean, I might even go with like a red with some orange tint to it, so it's not just red, you know what I mean? And part of that, believe it or not, is because in the past, and I mean well in the past, because I haven't played 40K in a long time, not to any, real, I don't want to say standard or any, what am I trying to say here? I haven't played in a long time, we'll just put it that way. Sometimes you just forget what you have, especially if you're just starting out. You don't know, you don't remember you have all this stuff, and perhaps having this stuff on the model, it might help remind me, hey, I got crack grenades, hey, I've got melt-a-bombs, whatever. But we're working on 20 assault squad Marines right now, in the Black Templar fashion, and I'm actually pretty happy with the plan that I came up with. Specifically their jump packs. We'll probably have to go back like I do on some stuff here, because we don't want to overload this with glue, and put a little dab of glue once that's on there, and dried. But that's okay, because like we do everything, we just you know, we turn around and we, while some stuff's drying, we work on something else. You know what I mean? Now, it just occurred to me, and I may need to go back and look at these guys. Some of these guys, the pin to the grenade seems to be different compared to what I was just doing. So I may need to go back and look, and who knows, might have to pull them off, put them back on. You gotta love when you got sticky fingers, it's great. I'm being sarcastic here. Come on, man. And now it wants to stick to the razor blade, which hardly ever happens, but sometimes it does. Oh, goodness. Of course, you know, if you get too sticky, you can always just kind of roll it around in your fingers a little bit, get the glue on your fingers, get it off the piece of the model, and then put it back on. And sometimes that will work, unless you touch another piece of the model that's gluey, like I just did. So, let's see here. Alright, so we put that one back on, and we're going to quickly check this real quick. Okay, those pins look good. Aha, see, I knew I put somebody on backwards. Oh boy. Progress, or lack thereof. Yep, another one backwards, and I think I did this because they were, they formed or conformed to the leg itself. That one's good to go. That one's not. So it's a good thing we checked this, you know, early, so we're not taking too much time having to redo. And those are good. Okay, so let's switch places here. Keep these guys in the rows they need to be. And get back to this. And you may have to, you know, trim off some of that old glue, but these things happen. Especially when you're moving as fast as I am. Once these guys are done, though, we have the assault terminators left, 10 of those, and we have 3 drop pods and the 2 Land Raider Crusaders that'll be added to this army. So right now, all 35 Black Templars are done. I included 5 neophytes in there, or scouts, you know, for most people. So for the bulk of the infantry is almost done here, and I will finish this up this evening with no problem at all. I'm still, well, all right. Let me say this. I plan on finishing this evening. I have the plan. But again, I'm still trying to make them more, I don't know, Black Templar-ish, without going too overboard. I looked at trying to do the these little shoulder shields, but I think they're just way too big, stick out way too much, and I think that they're probably better suited for like a Terminator model or something like that. Not quite these guys. I just don't like the look of it. But that's me. So you may be different. We're gonna put these grenades on. Then we've got some pouches, some other pouches that have a frag grenade on it, along with a little Black Templar magazine pouch with a little, some kind of little Black Templar thing on it. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's just one more thing to try to, like I said, add the bulk that I'm looking for, and also you know, break up that black when we get to that point. So At least that's the goal. I'm also kind of bringing the grenades down here on the model, because if you put them all the way up in the, you know, on the belt, then in my mind what ends up happening is when it's time to go paint, it's going to be in the way. Plus it may be up a little too high for wherever the arm is going to be laying, meaning like, you see how it comes down to the waist like that. It, you know, the arm may end up being in the way, where this one is not. Let's see here. I don't know if we can. You can see those crack grenades a little bit underneath his arm. The arm isn't touching it, so that's good to go. Excuse me one second. I'm gonna change some focus here. See if we can do something. I think that adjusted a little bit, not entirely sure, but yeah, that's what we're working on. One thing I've noticed though with the various legs is that even though I'm putting them all relatively in the same spot, the legs do not work the same. Some of them have a little outcropping of armor for some reason that gets in the way, so it kind of forces me to put the crack grenade a little more forward on the leg. And that's okay. I mean, it gives it a little bit more variety, I guess, so I'm not too concerned about it. Okay. Hey, it's still hard. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if I had one of those crazy high-speed cameras with the crazy macro, it might be better, but it's a really tiny part. So you had a question about a Primaris tank, I think. Trying to remember what the question was. Or maybe you already got it answered. I don't know. And everyone, I'm sorry it's a little late on the stream. I'm just had some things to do. Even though I was working on this stuff, we had a pretty busy day, which was good, and needed to wait for the little one to go to bed and things like that. So off my finger. Get off the finger. Oh my goodness. Now it wants to play games because of that armor spot. Let's see here. Good grief. Is the Primaris repulsor executioner a troop carrier, and can it shield units behind it? Let's find out. I honestly don't know. I believe that it is. I have one Primaris tank. I just don't remember which one it is. And as far as shielding units behind it, I mean, are you talking about an actual shield, or are you talking about that if it's in front of the unit, can they be behind it and not get shot? The answer for any tank like that, would be yes. But I mean, shielding it as far as, using it as cover, all depends upon, the angle of fire, of course. Alright, let's see here. I'm looking in my codex. Primaris repulsor. I believe it is a transport, and I believe it only carries Primaris, which I think is kind of dumb, but whatever. I guess if you wanted to play it as it counts as floating land raider, you could. That's been done before. All right, so can transport 10 chapter Primaris infantry models. Each Mark 10 Gravis model, like Gravis armor model, takes up the space of 2 other models. It cannot transport jump pack models. So, but it's clearly saying Primaris infantry. It's not saying Space Marines. So yes, it is a transport or troop carrier. And to answer your question, if your guys were behind it, I guess in short, if this was my Primaris repulsor and I had these guys behind it, then any fire going this way would not be able to get it. Now, it's, you know, if the angle of fire was different, that'd be different. Does that make sense? My understanding, if things have not changed, is that unless it specifically says so, all units but your unit, or I mean, you know, units as far as you're concerned, all units block line of sight. Meaning, if you wanted to shoot at this squad and you were over here, then this unit right here would block this unit. I mean, not if they're up here, obviously, but if they were down on the same level. However, these guys shooting at, you know, this unit right here, this razor blade, my understanding is, and again, unless it's changed, your friendly units do not block line of sight because they would have communicated to get out of the way, you know, what have you. That's how it used to be. I actually haven't gone too far into the rules yet. I'm just focused on getting my stuff put together. So that would be an interesting one to look up, as a matter of fact. Let's see, I've got the rule book right here. I might as well just sort this out right now. Alright, let's see here. I'll go to the index real quick. See if they've got anything that says line of sight. I would imagine they do, but you never know. Okay. Well, believe it or not, in the index, the only L anything is lowest dice result. Alright, so let me go to the shooting phase. Weapons. Alright, shooting phase. No unit can be selected to shoot with more than once. Okay, you understand all that. Alright, so when a unit shoots, you must select the target unit for all of the ranged weapons and its models are making attacks with before any attacks are resolved. If a model has more than one ranged weapon, it can shoot all of them at the same target, or it can split the weapons between different enemy units. Obviously, you would have to declare that first. Similarly, if a unit has more than one model, they can shoot at the same or different targets. In either case, when you select a target unit, you must declare which weapons will target that unit before any attacks are resolved. Just what I said. In order to target an enemy unit, at least one model of the unit must be within range of the weapon being used and be visible to the shooting model. If unsure, get a look from behind the firing model to see if any part of the target is visible. For the purposes of determining visibility, a model can see through other models in its unit. If there are no eligible targets for a weapon, then that weapon cannot shoot. If this is the case for all the unit's ranged weapons, then the unit is not eligible to shoot with. So, looks like they have changed something here. Oh, this is interesting. Note that so long as at least one model in the target unit was visible to the shooting model and in range of its weapon when that unit was selected as the target, that weapon's attacks are always made against the target unit, even if no models in the target unit remain visible to or in range of it when you come to resolve them. This can happen because of models being destroyed and removed from the battlefield as a result of resolving the shots with other weapons in the shooting model's unit first. So basically, my understanding of that, and just from a video that I watched, hold on a second. That's right, that's what I was looking for. When you allocate the attack, an attack successfully wounds the target unit, the player commanding the target unit allocates that attack to one model in the target unit. This can be to any model in the unit and does not have to be allocated to a model that is within range of or visible to the attacking model. If a model in the target unit has already lost any wounds or has already had attacks allocated to this phase, the attack must be allocated to that model. So what this basically means is, and this goes back to a kind of a 3rd edition deal, amazing how that's happening now we're in 9th edition, is let's just say that, you know, we've got these guys, you know, this unit over here behind this building, this bits box is going to be a building, okay? This is how I understand it, and if anybody says that I'm wrong, well, you know, feel free to correct me. But anyway, we'll just say all these guys are over here. All right. Anyone who turned up to my table with Primaris Marines, I'd smash them into dust with an actual hammer. Oh my goodness. Well, Cameron's a brand new player, and he got the Indominus box, and that's what he's got. So, that being said, you see this one model here, okay? Whether, you know, and to be clear, it's not the model itself, it's the base, okay? Because you're not supposed to penalize the other player for having a, you know, a really nice, you know, model that they've, you know, sculpted or put little whiz bang widgets on or whatever. So like if I took this Grimaldus guy, for instance, okay, he's part of this unit, but he's tucked back here and you can see his Crozius, but you can't see his base. I mean, obviously these guys can, but let's just say that this is the only guy right here. You can't target that. You can't target. Okay, it doesn't work like that. All right, you'd have to be able to see a portion of his base to be able to target him. Okay, I don't recall exactly what that portion is. It used to be like 50%, but I don't even think it's that anymore. I think you just got to be able to see the base, which, you know, I'd be perfectly fine with, because it just keeps people from trying to, you know, game the game so they can fit more models in there. All right. So anyway, you know, this group over here, you know, sees him, they shoot, and they need 3s to hit. They get their hits, and we'll just say that, you know, let's just make it easy. 4 guys, forget these guys over here. All right, and they're within 12 inches apiece, which obviously they are. So that's 2 shots apiece with a rapid-fire bolter or bolt pistol, and I'm sorry, rapid-fire bolter, not the bolt pistol. Bolt pistol is not rapid-fire. So they would get 2 shots apiece, and then you would allocate that to wound. So let's just say you wounded, okay? Well, 2 things that we covered when we talked about that are, 1, okay, if this guy had already, I mean, forget that he's a character right now, okay? Don't worry about that. Let's just say that he had 2 wounds, like Space Marines now do, okay? And he had already been shot or something like that, but survived except for 1 wound. You have to allocate wounds to him first, okay? So you have to remove whole models where, you know, possible, if you will. So let's just say we had 4 wounds total, then he would go away, you can pick from back here, even though you can't see them, as if they kind of moved up into formation. So I would take this other one away, and then one of these models I would then put a die, or if you want to write it down, but it's easier for you and your opponent to just put a die down there that says 1, annotating that he's got one wound left. Now obviously this is not a play chat deal at the moment. I'm just it came up, so we're talking about it. So I apologize, I don't have any dice handy at the moment to demonstrate that, but that's what we're going to be moving to in the future anyway, is actually doing battles and streaming those as well. I think it's going to be a fun time. So let's see here, an actual hammer. So you don't like Primaris, I take it. I won't say that I don't like them, but I'm also a firstborn guy. That's all I'm putting together now, believe it or not. And I don't foresee me putting Primaris with any of these units. I just don't. Yeah, I figured you'd catch that, Cameron. I mean, you're pretty sharp with that stuff. Your thing did come with a rule book, right? I think I saw a video where somebody said that didn't happen, or maybe there was a correction in the rule book. Mighty Joe, you know anything about that? Like maybe the Indominus box set got released and then there was an immediate correction or something to the rule book. I feel like I vaguely heard that in putting models together. Let's see here. Okay, why do I feel like I'm missing one here? I am missing one. What the heck's going on here? Am I missing one? What the heck? Over? No, I'm not missing one. Oh gosh. Alright. So now I'm going to go back real quick, do a little dab like I said before, just to, I think I'm going to put it on the back side here so we don't clog up those grenade pins. That way when we paint them, they actually stand out and they don't look like, a glob of glue. I'm still baffled that after all these years of playing, cannot figure out how to put out rules that are clearly, going on, and then, they got to keep releasing frequently asked questions. I just don't get it. I mean, I really don't. It blows my mind. And then, of course, all of the rules changes, because they supposedly play tested, but, oh, yeah, we got to keep changing this. It just, again, kills me. And quite honestly, I mean, I understand the marketing strategy behind it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. Why they can't, in the process of coming up with a new edition, come up with all the codexes in the process, and then release all of that at once. Instead, it's about keeping the hype up and all of that kind of stuff. So again, like I said, I get it. I just don't agree with it. But hell, I mean, I think it was 7th edition, maybe 8th edition, I can't remember. They released 2 Space Marine codexes in the same year. I was like, what the heck? I just got through buying the other one. Alright. Now I need to put these grenades on these 4 left, and that's all we have, because I totally forgot what I was doing and didn't do it, along with the other stuff. I do use tweezers from time to time, especially in situations like this where I can't get my fingers in there. And then again, I will turn around in a minute and put some added glue on there once those seem to have solidified a little. Yeah. Wait, where's that sergeant at? He's over here. We'll set him off so I can pay attention to what I'm doing. All right. Turn that over. Careful now. Don't slide down his leg. Don't want that to happen. Actually, I want you to come a little more to the front. There we go. 2 more and all the crack grenades are done. Then we can move on to hopefully easier things. One thing I do too is I'll take this razor blade, as you probably saw me do on that last one. Sometimes I will just put a little bit of pressure in a spot you're not going to know about to pick up the blade into the plastic, so that I can pick it up with a little bit of precision before any glue ends up getting on it. So other than that, the crack grenades are done. Melt the bombs over here that I pushed into this pile because I wasn't paying attention. Let's see here. I've been looking for more of these. There's so many bits in this Black Templar stuff. It's crazy. But I wouldn't change it, man. I mean, like I said, who knows? You know, either trade it, get rid of it, sell it, or build terrain pieces with it, you know, or maybe even objective markers. You know, maybe you're trying to do something specific to your Black Templars, you know, or I mean, you know, whatever army it is. Sorry. All right. So now, still working on, you know, beefing these dudes up a little bit. We're going to the other side now. What we've got is we've got these pouches. Unfortunately, I have not seen that I have enough to outfit every guy. It looks like we can only do 3 per squad. What I have done is since I like to keep my stuff the same, I'm probably gonna, oh wait a minute, holy smokes, I just found, oh man, you got nonsense. Who knows, maybe there is another, that would make 4 for that squad. 3, well, technically 4. If I could find one more, that'll at least give us 4 for each squad. I don't know. I mean, very pleased with this, you know, obviously with this bits deal, the Black Templars chapter upgrade thing. But some of this stuff is, in my opinion, rather useless to me. I mean, look at this, man. I mean, this sword right here is freaking huge. Okay, and if you put it next to the Space Marine, I mean, it's literally almost as tall as he is. You put that on his hip, and it just makes him look too, I don't know, anime maybe, Final Fantasy, gigantic sword kind of nonsense. I've never really bought into any of that stuff, just always annoyed me. But that's probably just OCD, who knows. Final Fantasy's not my thing anymore. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one will stick out to me, but I'm not seeing one now. I'm done looking. Alright, so that being said, we know we're gonna commit at least one of these to a sergeant. So we'll just have to, you know, pay attention to that. And again, I'm trying to put this in such a way that it folds in on the leg and doesn't create a huge gap but also doesn't get in the way of the arm that's going to come down. And my sergeants are going to have power fists, really, because I don't have a whole lot in this army that is tank, and I'd like to have a little bit of a chance. I mean, yeah, they're, you know, mostly fluff, but it's you know, we'll make it work. But there's a frag grenade on here. There's some kind of pouch magnet, and we're only gonna do 3 per squad. Looks like, unless I can find, you know, more. Come on now. And again, the whole point of this, of going through this process, I mean, I don't have to do this, obviously, and I think a lot of is, once these guys are painted black, we definitely want to be able to break up, you know, some of that, you know, some of that outline, if you will, or get some contrast to the model, so it's not just one big giant black blob. I mean, it's not that you're gonna see, like, you know, crazy detail or anything like that, you know, because the arm will be in the way and whatnot, but it'll draw the eye to something else other than just the overall model. And part of that's going to be the zenithal highlight that I'm going to do, as well as you know, the different things that I'm going to do, like to the helmets, and, you know, for the sergeants and whatnot. They're going to be they're probably all, actually this spot on the leg is in my way, so I'm going to shave this off. But they're going to they're probably, you know, going to have white helmets at a minimum. So let's see, I just realized something. My sergeants, that stinks. Okay, that's all right. Sergeants had actual knee pads. I'm not a big fan of these, I don't know if you want to call them bell bottom legs. All right, man, we'll see you tomorrow. So you don't like the models per se? I like the models. I think they look pretty neat. I mean, I don't feel like mixing them with my normal Space Marines. I think it takes away from that. And if you're like me, you're kind of upset at, you know, GW with, you know, I mean, I got a feeling they're not going to support regular Space Marines after a certain amount of time when they think they can get away with it, even though they said that they would. I think it's all a lie, but, you know, that's just me. Let's see here. These guys, 2. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do some more knee pad dudes. So, because I have not played 9th edition at all, like, what's some of the rules that you don't like? Like, what makes them bad? I'm just curious. I mean, I have a few put together just because of, like, the single model that you get in a magazine or something like that. And I have a bunch, but they're not, the main core of them are not put together. And when I do put them together, I'm planning on playing them not as Primaris, but as heroic size, you know, true scale Space Marines. Alright, so before we get carried away here, we want to make sure that we get that sergeant thing going on. So we'll just say this first row is all sergeants. So now I've got to get that piece their backpacks, and that'll help me out. Okay, where are you? I need 3 of those. I had them separated, and then I wasn't paying attention and just pushed everything. Here's 1. Come on now. 2. And where did the 3rd one go? Should be right here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, they were all together. Alright. So anybody that watches this later, I think I'm alone at the moment. Appreciate you tuning in, checking it out. I can't believe 40 minutes has already gone by. I guess looking up the rules kind of helped with that one. But yeah, we're gonna knock these dudes out tonight, these assault marines at a minimum, and get started on the 10 Terminators, and then we're gonna be busting out 3 drop pods and 2 Land Raider Crusaders, and then my Black Templars army, aside from anything else I'd like to include, will be done. So it's I mean, as far as putting them together, you know, and then we're gonna move on, I think, to the Blood Angels, get those box sets going. And what we have there is we actually have Blood Angels, Space Marines, you know, tactical squads, Blood Angels, Terminators. I believe, well, I've got a ton of Death Company stuff. I mean, just crazy amounts, and some of them are the older metal models, and I have all of the old. I got a lot of Blood Angels metal backpacks, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I may have to weight the bases some. Something I've been thinking about, but I'm really looking forward to getting those put together. I've had them for so long, and I think I've had those models at least 20 years. I'm pretty positive. I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. I've been playing this game since '98, so yeah, I think it's right around 20 years I've had that stuff, and still never had the chance to put it together. Crazy. So what I'm doing right now is, this is a little Black Templar icon thing, and I'm using it to to dress up the jump packs here, specifically the Sergeant one. So I don't know why it's got this flashing on here. That's weird. It's a little bit different than the Iron Cross and Skull I'm gonna put on all the other guys thing, just because it has a little like a little scroll at the bottom of it. So yeah, that one went right in there. Awesome. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm knocking this out, giving the other stuff time to glue wise. But I'll tell you what, man, I can't wait to see all this stuff put together and then get to painting. It's gonna be pretty awesome. I got a really good plan, I think, for doing all of this. All right, we got power fists that we need to have for the sergeants. We've got the sergeants are actually getting 2 sets of shoulder pads. And that reminds me, I need to move these guys because I need to open the bit spot. Oh wait, did I not? Ah, shoot, man. I knew I forgot something. What did I do? Wait a minute, what's wrong here? One dude with this. Each of these guys, or 3 of them, have one. Here's one. Did I forget to do something here? Son of a gun. That's, well, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Bits everywhere, and well, I'm sure we'll come across it. I'm gonna go ahead and glue this this bad boy right here onto somebody. See if I can find somebody with a better exposed leg so you can see it. Probably this guy right here. I'm gonna have to use the old tweezer method. Look at that, fit right in there, awesome. Okay. We still have to put melta bombs on these guys, but right now I'm not too concerned about it. I just want to get some stuff lined up here. You know what? I don't know why I'm freaking out over this, because I can easily just take one of these other guys and swap them in. Pretty sure anyway. So, man, I can't believe I'm missing one. Or that I don't have any more of that. I'm also contemplating putting some of these purity seals on these guys. The only issue I have with that again is these are jump pack dudes, or you know, would they really have all that stuff on them as they're, you know, flying through the air, you know, whatnot? I mean, I guess. I would just think that it would be some kind of crazy flight hazard. Yeah, I think we don't have any more. That's okay. Alright, so anyway, we're going to go ahead and make these 3 sergeants here. Get this guy out of the way. So, I need to scrape off a little of this. I gotta be careful. I'm sure this stuff is glued just fine, but I don't want to risk it by putting any pressure on it. Not to mention, something I didn't say is all of these Marines, they're glued on, you know, with that one little foot, because the other foot's in the air, and it's not even their whole foot. It's just a toe. But this is temporary, because once I figure out exactly the basing that I want to do, all of these guys are coming off the base will be built, and then they'll be put on top of it, whether it's a smoke trail, which is what I'm kind of leaning towards, or some kind of ruin or something like that. I'm thinking smoke trail, because then it'll, you know, anything you can imagine. The only problem I'll have is when I get to my Blood Angels doing the same thing. Essentially, you know, the metal models, it's, you know, the jump packs or whatever, they're going to be heavy. It's going to make it relatively top heavy. So, you know, even if he's just a, you know, a tad off the ground, you know, that could be enough to show it. So, all right, let's get this power fist on here. And I want to put it in such a way it doesn't completely cover everything we're trying to do here. So I may have to come out forward, looks like. Which is okay. That'll give me some... Oh, well, dropped it on the floor. Stand by. That'll give us some room to paint, you know, and be able to see all the stuff we're working on here. His fist like just out, like, you know, but you know, more like he's getting his fist up, just not quite, you know, going crazy with it. We have plasma pistols for the sergeants. Obviously, like I said, the way that I play is, for at least for now, I want to put more powerful thing on there, and then you can always say, you know, well, I don't have that. You know what I mean? Versus saying, well, this counts as a stronger weapon, maybe. And there's nothing to say I won't go back and magnetize this stuff. I'm known to do that. It's just how it goes. But you know, we'll see. So we're gonna put a power fist on this guy. Still on this side. Try not to knock anything off or get stuck to the model. Okay. I may need to rough that up some. Okay. Oop, looks like we kind of hit that power fist a little bit. That's okay. Maybe we can clear that. Again, I'm trying to give it, you know, give the stuff underneath it some. Let's see here. Trim this one up just a little bit more. Power fist, last power fist here. Okay. And last, plasma pistol. Excellent. Oop. No! Plasma pistol does not want to play ball today. There we go. Set those bad boys over there to dry. Actually, we're gonna move them because we need to get this bits box open for various reasons, chain swords, all kinds of stuff. All right, so let's see here. This is also sergeant stuff here. We're also gonna need 3 regular Black Templar pads for them, and we want to make sure. What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12. We should have 12 in there, so we should be good to go for those guys, because they're also going to get a normal, which I'm not real happy about, but they're going to get a normal shoulder pauldron on the right side. And I don't know, I haven't decided if I'm gonna do some kind of unit, I mean not unit, oh gosh, what's it called, you know, type, well, I guess it'd be a unit designator, you know, whether it's troop, fast attack, heavy support, or whatever, the decal. I really don't like decals. I mean, there's no, I can hand paint it, it's not a big deal, but I'm also not really into that symbol. It's just kind of like boring. So maybe I'll do something else. Who knows? We got a long way to go before we get to that stuff anyway. So, all right. So while that stuff's drying, these guys are all squared away. We're gonna go ahead and work on these jump packs here and get all their little Black Templar things on top. Unfortunately, the Black Templar symbols that they give you are a little too big to put over the center. I'm sorry, the each side, kind of like the Blood Angel stuff was back in the day. So what I'm gonna have to do, or what I had to do rather, is, as you can see, we put them directly over the center. Hold on, let me see if I can get that a little more. Yeah, so directly over the center, and it works. You know, I mean, once it's painted, you know, it's not going to be black. You know, that'll be a white cross or something like that, or maybe I'll do white up here with a black cross and then the white skull and stuff. You know, who knows? But there'll be some contrast to where you can make it out, so it won't be that bad. Move this stuff over here. Look at that, man. Here's another. Oh, maybe this is the one I pushed over. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, so we're gonna start putting all these little iron crosses on there, knocking that out. You know, some of this stuff is the tedious stuff, you know, but once you get it done, man, and it looks good, and you know, it makes all the effort worth it. It really does. And some of you may remember from a past video, I've had this knife, this blade, for instance, probably 3 years, man. Haven't changed this blade. In some ways that's a good thing because it keeps me from overcutting. Sometimes it's not, but it's still sharp enough to stab yourself, let me tell you, because I've done it. I've also literally punctured my finger on orc bits when I was putting that orc army together, man. Oh my gosh, dude, I've poked myself so many times, I don't even know how many times, to the point that my thumbs were, you know, so sore. I mean, I was bleeding one time, and in the process of putting together the next army, Ravenwing, it made it really hard for me to be able to grip the bottom of the land speeder when you were putting it together. So I said, screw this nonsense, and like I've shown before, because I'm really proud of these things, I went to Lowe's, got this bad boy, $5. I didn't have to worry about none of that crap no more. Let's see here. I'm trying to stay in the shot, everybody. But yeah, I have some cleanup to do on these little iron crosses here before I can put them on. It's not too bad though. And besides, we still have stuff that needs to dry glue wise. So right on. We had a good day today. Oop, what the heck happened there? That is a no-go non-starter. We got one that I must have cut with the clippers way too bad. Well, that stinks. I hope we got another one in here. Let me hold that off to this. Right there. Good. Yeah, we can't be having, I mean, we call it battle damage, but I mean, no. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Let's see here. Okay. Hopefully the video quality and sound quality is good for you guys. I'm still doing research on how to improve everything. I'm starting to look into, you know, video editing and stuff like that. Because I know some of this, if it was sped up and or, you know, broken recording, or I'm not sure exactly what you call it, but, you know, where you piece everything together, it would make things go a lot better, a lot smoother, maybe more enjoyable to watch. And then I could relatively stick to the topic versus ad-libbing everything. But I like the interaction with you guys in the live stream too. Let's see here. So anyway, this is essentially what we're working on tonight, or what we will be finishing up this evening. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead. We're at an hour now, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream. I want to say thank you guys for tuning in and chatting with me a little bit, and